What if what you always thought you knew about twins were just a part of a much deeper veil? What if, when feeling envy or trying to manipulate someone from this sign, you were actually moving ancient spiritual codes, doors that should never be touched by unprepared hands? Gemini is not just the sign of communication or duality. He is a portal, a mystical mirror that reflects what is within you, but amplified, distorted, or revealed, depending on your intention. Edgar Cayce, the prophet of the invisible, left hidden alerts on Gemini energy. According to him, these beings were marked with such high sensitivity that they can capture what has not even been said, interpret silences, read thoughts, anticipate betrayals. Not only do they change their moods, they change their plan. And whoever tries to face them, challenge their essence, or awaken their fury by envy, activates forces that have been sleeping for millennia. Many underestimate the sign of twins for not understanding their spiritual depth. They think they are volatile, confusing, unstable. But behind this changeable mask, there is a mind protected by upper entities, connected to high plans for wisdom, prophetic dreams, and gifts that confuse the earthly eyes. Envying a Gemini is, first of all, an energetic error, because those who carry this brand of the zodiac is not here by chance. They came to activate, provoke, and awaken consciences. And maybe that's why so many people feel discomfort near them. Perhaps that is why you also feel exposed when a Gemini enters the room. Prepare, because from now on you will discover the 15 dangerous secrets that Edgar Cayce revealed, and that they should never fall into inattentive ears. If any part of it has already made you shiver, then no, it's no coincidence. When we talk about twins, we talk about an energy field that responds to those who pay attention. So before we continue with the most intense secrets revealed by Edgar Cayce, I want to ask you something important, and it's more than a simple gesture. Comment down here, "I respect the energy of twins," or share your experience with this sign. Have you ever felt that a Gemini knew too much? Have you ever had that feeling that he saw something about you that didn't even understand? He writes, because many people will see each other in their history, and each comment helps this content to reach those who really need to wake up. And if you're here, it's because this video has chosen you. So it doesn't leave without leaving your like, which is the invisible fuel that strengthens this journey. And it is now subscribed to the channel, because what is to come goes beyond entertainment. It is revelation, it is mystery, it is expansion. This is a portal for those who feel that they were not born by chance. And if you have gotten here, you are part of it. Tighten the belt. The truth behind twins can change the way you see this sign, and maybe even yourself. Let's continue. Have you ever had the feeling that a Geminian knew something you hadn't even said yet? That he could see behind his mask even when you thought you were hiding everything? And if this is not just intuition, but a connection with invisible plans? What most people do not understand and often fear is that twins are not just here to live, but to translate what cannot be said with common words. They are cosmic messengers, channels between worlds, transmitters of hidden codes that go unnoticed to distracted eyes. Envying a Gemini is like provoking the wind and waiting for it to stand still. It is trying to control a force that has never been made to obey. Edgar Cayce, considered the sleeping prophet, said that each sign carries a spiritual seal, and in the case of twins, this seal is the sacred mutation. They are not one, they are two, and sometimes they are more than two. There are many in one body, crossing states of consciousness that float between rational and prophetic. They capture, absorb, mirror, anticipate. Therefore, it is common to feel exposed before a warning Gemini, as if being observed by a consciousness that reads more than words, which understands silences, which deciphers intentions. This ability is not a simple psychological gift. According to Cayce, she is born from the soul of twins, has been shaped throughout many lives, always in messenger, connector, questioner of apparent reality. They were the scribes of the ancients, the interpreters of the oracles, the backstage, counselors of spiritual empires. And even if they do not consciously remember this, the energy field of twins holds records, fragments of wisdom that come to light when least expected. That's why they often seem to know what will happen before everyone. They are the first to prevail breaks in relationships, changes in the environment, turns of destination. And if you already had next to a true Geminian, you know what I'm talking about. They not only understand what you feel, but also what you fear. This connection to invisible plans manifests itself in small signs, chills of nowhere, repeated dreams with cipher messages, thoughts that appear in sync with external events. Gemini is the sign governed by Mercury, the messenger of the gods. But on the spiritual plane, Mercury does not deliver only words. He delivers divine instructions, camouflaged revelations, fragments of wisdom that escape the control of those who live on the surface. And here is the secret that few know. When a Gemini is in alignment with its essence, it becomes an open channel for these revelations. But when in imbalance, it can become a distorted mirror, a maze of voices and doubts that confuse even those who try to help. Therefore, the envy that so many feel of twins is not about beauty, intelligence, or charisma. It is about what they cannot understand. It is about what they cannot control. It is about that power to transit between light and shadow so naturally that it even scares. The power to reinvent itself, to disappear and resurface, to change skin without losing its essence. Gemini bothers, provokes, unbalanced, but also heals, awakens, and reveals. And here is the central point. This spiritual connection is not random. Cayce said the signs carry contracts. Gemini in particular brings the collective awakening contract. They were born to activate sleeping consciences, often without even realizing it. The simple presence of them can cause deep triggers in those around. It is as if a cosmic mirror turned on. Sometimes you feel inspired by a Gemini, in others confronted, but never indifferent. And when you feel this discomfort, this desire to compete, to prove something to him or even to diminish him, be careful. Because this impulse can be just a reflection of your own resistance to dealing with what it arouses in you. Envy is born when the soul feels small about something that cannot control. But in the case of twins, this envy does not go unnoticed. They feel, they absorb, and often, without even having to react, something in your life begins to move. And this is where their energy proves dangerous, not out of evil, but out of tune. When trying to overthrow a spiritually aligned Gemini, you end up stirring forces you do not understand, forces that return what you send amplified, because the energy field of twins acts as an antenna. Everything you launch returns. Only they do not return as revenge, they return as a mirror, and this spiritual mirror can become a true internal earthquake for those who are not ready to see each other. Now think to me, how many times have you felt that a Gemini dismantled you with a sentence? What did you read your eyes, as if you have access to your internal file? How many times have you tried to compete with someone from twins and found yourself lost in the game, trying to reach something that changes in each attempt? This is not manipulation. This is adaptation. This is the gift of air, the ability to move between worlds, to be shadow and light at the same time. And that's why so many feel threatened by them. Society likes predictability, of labels, standards, but twins break it all. They are unpredictable because they are multiple. They are a dance between logic and mystery, between the rational and the intuitive, and the frightening. They do it naturally. They do not need to force. They don't have to prove it. They are just. And it is precisely this fluid authenticity, this instinctive intelligence, and this invisible connection with more subtle plans that cause so much discomfort. Because when you look at awake Geminian, it's like looking at what you have repressed yourself, for the versions of oneself who never had the courage to live, for the truths you didn't want to accept. This is why Edgar Cayce was so emphatic in warning about Gemini energy, because it is not just powerful, she is transformative, and transformation hurts. It hurts those who don't want to change. It hurts those who prefer to live sleeping. But for those ready to wake up, twins is a lighthouse, a sign that there is more than what the eyes see. If so far this content has touched something to you, if you have awakened memories, if you have lit questions, moved your perception of this sign, I want to invite you to leave a comment right now. But not any comment. I want you to write exactly like this. I see the mirror of twins. If you have already lived something inexplicable with someone from this sign, share. Your experience can activate other people. And if this video is making you rethink everything you thought you knew about astrology, it already leaves your like now, not only to support the content, but to show the algorithm that this kind of revelation needs to come air to more people. You are still here. This already says a lot about your soul. Something in you is being called, and it's not by chance. When we talk about the duality of twins, we are not just referring to a common astrological characteristic. We are dealing with a spiritual pattern, an old code that inhabits the Gemini psyche and expresses itself in forms that even science cannot understand. Gemini is more than the sum of two poles. It is the constant traffic between them, the movement that connects internal and external, past and future worlds, silence and revelation. And when a person is born under this vibration, he does not come into the world with a simple mission. It comes with layers, portals, hidden languages that only those who see beyond the surface can access. Perhaps that is why, in many moments of your life, you have felt attracted, or even mesmerized, by someone from twins. There is a magnetic force in this sign, an emotional and spiritual intelligence that does not impose itself but dominates. It is the kind of presence that disassembles you without lifting your voice, that makes you think more than you should, rethink choices, look inside even unintentionally. And all this often happens in silence, because twins don't have to prove what you feel. He just feels, and you know. And when you are crossed by this energy, nothing inside you remains intact. Edgar Cayce, who received thousands of revelations in deep trance states, spoke about souls who came to the world to break the fake mirrors. Gemini is one of those mirrors. He shows you what you don't want to see in yourself, without judgment, without effort, just reflecting. And that's why it bothers you so much. Because we live in a society that prefers labels to mysteries, that prefers certainties to possibilities, that prefers the truth security. But twins is not security. Gemini is the abyss where the truth dances. When you relate to someone in this sign, especially to a spiritually awakening Gemini, you realize that the rules of the game change. Time seems to drain differently. What was sure to become doubt, and what was confusion, becomes revelation. And all this happens with a speed that often scares. Because twins carries fluid intelligence, connected with something that goes beyond linear logic. It is as if they had direct access to the universe's invisible information field, as if they pulled air thoughts and transformed into words even before you were aware of what you feel. But there is a point that few perceive. This skill of twins does not come without a price. Because the greater the spiritual connection, the greater the weight of energy responsibility. Many Gemini struggle internally with the feeling of not belonging. They feel they are always on displacement, even when they are surrounded by people. This is because their souls are in constant search for deep connection points, something rare to find in a world that lives in the automatic. And when they do not find this point, they tend to close, to divide even more, to create versions of themselves, to fit in spaces where their truth is not accepted. This is where confusion is born, not in them, but in others, that they do not know how to deal with this complexity. Therefore, when a Gemini finally decides to live his authenticity without masks, without asking permission, the universe responds. They become vivid keys, beings that activate portals. They play hearts and arouse souls, but also cause resistance, because the more light a soul emanates, the more it exposes the shadows around it, and not everyone is prepared for it. This is where the danger of envying a wake Geminian is born. You are not envying the person, but the light it carries. And this light, being a reflection, illuminates in you exactly what is poorly resolved. Often envy disguises themselves as criticism, competition, distancing. And when this is directed to a spiritualized Gemini, the energy does not dissipate, it is returned, not as an attack, but as an energy mirror. And what you see in this mirror can be deeply uncomfortable, because he shows his shadow sharply, courageously, clearly. He does not beautify, does not edit. It shows what it is. This is why many Gemini suffer sudden rejections. People who were once close suddenly move away. Relationships that looked intense break without explanation. But what is happening often is not an emotional matter, is spiritual. The energy of twins has the power to accelerate internal processes, to bring out truths that were hidden, and not everyone is ready for it. What you feel close to a Gemini is almost always what you need to heal, and that requires courage. But here's a revelation. If you are from twins and watch it now, you may have felt it all. The internal confusion, the breaks without reason, the feeling of being in constant mutation. Know that this is not weakness. This is code. This is part of your spiritual programming. You came into the world to deconstruct lies, to question the certainties, to be a bridge between the visible and the invisible. Do not be ashamed of your constant change. She is your greatest gift. And if you are not twins, but you are here, maybe life has put you on the way to someone of this sign for a reason. Perhaps this person has entered your life to awaken you, to tease you, to show you what you didn't see. Perhaps this Gemini was the catalyst of a cycle that you have not yet understood. And that's fine. You don't have to understand everything now, but you need to recognize nothing with twins is by chance. So tell me, have you ever had a remarkable date with someone from twins? Have you ever lived something that left you silent for days trying to sue what you felt? Have you been thinking of words that seemed common, but marked you like codes? If this has happened to you, comment now. I respect duality. And if you are from twins and you know deep down your soul that carries something special, something you don't know how to explain, but you feel vibrating inside you, write here in the comments, I carry this energy. These phrases are not just words. They are spiritual stamps. These are statements that the universe hears. These are confirmations of what your soul already knows, but you may have forgotten. And if you have gotten here, it is because something within you is being activated. Leave the like now if this message spoke to you, and if you haven't signed up yet, do that. Edgar Cayce, in one of his most intense mediumistic transcripts, described those born under the sign of twins as bearers of an invisible mental seal, a seal that, according to him, not only connects the individual to the consciousness of the human collective, but also allows access to subtle dimensions where few are allowed to transit. Cayce stated that Gemini were old souls, reincarnated in flexible bodies, agile minds, and curious spirits exactly to serve as channels, or rather bridges, between plans that are mutually ignored, the visible and the invisible, the logical and the intuitive, the human and the divine. He said, those under the seal of Mercury carry within themselves the mirror of the human race, and like every mirror, they not only show, they reveal what was hidden, even their own eyes they look. And this is where the mystery lives, because while the world tries to understand twins through the superficiality lens, mood change, or emotional duplicity, Cayce saw something much deeper, a spiritual mission that would bear to carry. Gemini is not here to be linear, it's here to move, and what many call instability, Cayce called multidimensional capacity. They do not think like others because they were simply not made to think the same way. This connection with the collective spiritual mind, the invisible field where all the emotions, thoughts, memories, and desires of humanity intertwine, transforms Gemini into true vibrational decoders. They are unintentionally capturing, translate without realizing it. Often they suffer without knowing where the pain comes from. They carry anxieties, urgencies, omen, and live in a constant overflowing mental state, as if they were trying to tune in many seasons at the same time, within a single body. And you, who may be living with a Gemini, may have witnessed this. That restlessness for no reason, that sudden change in humor, that look that seems to see a layer of reality that you yourself are not ready to see. According to Cayce, Gemini are so difficult to deceive because they don't think with their eyes. They think with the field. They feel before listening. They understand before knowing, and that scares. It frightens why they naturally become forbidden for those who carry secrets. People who live on masks, games, or shallow emotional strategies are unarmed by the presence of a Gemini in their awakened essence. Not because he wants to confront, but because he sees. He reads codes of behavior, captures hidden emotions, sees the root of what is being said with seemingly harmless words. This ability to access the collective mind also makes them extremely empathic, but at a level that borders on the supernatural. Many Gemini reports inexplicable sensations from an early age, such as knowing what is about to happen, having dreams with coded messages, feeling pains that do not belong to them. It is as if they were human radios, connected to the universal unconscious, receiving information from invisible sources. And the most impressive, they are not always aware of it. They often think they are just being anxious, distracted, or overloaded, but they are actually absorbing the non-surrounding, processing the world behind the scenes of consciousness. And it is exactly because they carry this function. What Cayce said, twins was marked with the task of carrying the duality of humanity, the light and the shadow, chaos and wisdom, They cannot exist on a single side of the coin. Its nature requires contrast. This is why twins often contradict itself. It says something today and something different tomorrow. He loves intensely and then walks away in silence, smiles as it carries anguish. Teach while you are still learning, because twins is a sign in process, a living laboratory of the human spirit, an essay of the soul for what she still doesn't know how to name. And here is something few understand. This oscillation is not a defect. It is the very path of enlightenment to twins. Cayce explained that the signs with greater spiritual load, such as fish, scorpion, and twins, are also the ones who suffer the most to find internal balance, because they need to try the contrast until they understand unity. In the case of twins, this journey occurs between extremes: reason and intuition, action and observation, presence and escape. And every person who enters the life of a Gemini ends up being part of this journey, because, like it or not, you will be transformed. This Gemini presence has the gift of bringing out the truths that were hidden. And here, once again, Cayce was straightforward. The native of twins is a key, and every key, when misused, opens doors for mazes. This is the spiritual warning that few take seriously. If you try to use twin energy only for entertainment, manipulation, or control, you will not only get lost, but will arouse internal forces you don't know how to contain. They were not born to be fitted, controlled, or deciphered. We're born to open, to reveal, to cause movement. And when we talk about spiritually awakened under this sign, we are talking about beings who operate in multiple layers. The way they speak, for example, often have layers of meaning. Sometimes a simple phrase said by a Gemini carries in it an energy load that touches deep in the soul of the listening. They are not just saying something. They are activating. They are echoing frequencies. They are reorganizing patterns. And the most impactful, they do it naturally, without planning. Therefore, being in the presence of an awake Geminian is like being facing a ritual unknowingly. But there is a spiritual responsibility at all. Cayce warned that twins, by accessing the collective mind, also needs to learn to protect himself from it. Many Gemini suffer from chronic mental fatigue, sudden creative blocks, a feeling of empty even in the midst of success. This is because their souls are often overwhelmed with too much information, too much emotions, too much stimuli. They need silence. They need rituals that anchor them in reality. They need room to rearrange themselves inside. Because the more connected they are on the spiritual plane, the more they need rooting in the physical plane. And if you are from twins and are listening to it all now, you may be feeling a strange mix of relief and identification, as if finally someone was naming what you always felt but could never explain. Know that this is not a coincidence. Your soul is being remembered the mission you brought to this life. And if you are from another sign, but you live with a Gemini, you may now be able to understand why this relationship is so intense, so transformative, so full of ups and downs. Because she is not just emotional, she is spiritual. And every gesture, every word, every silence carries a message. If you have already felt this, if you have ever been touched by this vibrant, chaotic, and wise energy of twins now, I recognize the seal of twins. And if you are a Gemini aware of everything you carry, even if you are still in the process of remembering, write here in the comments, "I'm a moving key." These words are more than phrases. These are confirmations of who you are and who you are becoming. Like this video if this message spoke to you, and subscribe to the channel. They observe in silence. They analyze as they smile. And when they talk, they are not just answering, they are returning a reflection. A reading needs what you may not even know that you are transmitting. The most dangerous secrets of twins are not on the surface and perhaps therefore go unnoticed by those who look in a hurry. But for those who feel, for those who perceive, for those who have already been touched by this subtle and at the same time cutting energy, every gesture, every pause, every absence of words is a moving code. And if you ever had the feeling that a Gemini knew too much, even without you saying anything, perhaps it was crossed by these invisible secrets that Edgar Cayce had already intuited, ancestral, spiritual secrets, shaped in layers of soul and time. The first secret is perhaps the most evident, and at the same time the most bad ado. Gemini doesn't show everything you feel, but you realize everything you hide. While you are busy trying to disguise an emotion, justify behavior, or pretend naturalness, it has already understood the origin, the reason, and even the intention behind it. The Gemini mind operates as an open antenna, and even if he chooses not to confront, he has seen, he already felt, he already knows. And that, for many, is uncomfortable, almost unbearable, because his silence denounces, his gaze reveals, his departure confirms what you tried to hide even from yourself. The second secret is subtle, but incredibly powerful. Gemini knows how to manipulate energies without seeming that he is doing this. This is not a negative manipulation, but a natural ability to change atmospheres only with the presence. A warning Gemini can enter a loaded environment and, in minutes, change the rhythm, tone, humor of the surrounding people, either with a word, a joke, or just the vibration that emanates. They are social alchemists. They know how to play the invisible. They know how to rearrange energies. And the most intriguing, they are rarely aware of it. It's something that just happens. It's like breathing. It is the manifestation of duality acting effortlessly. The third secret is deep, dense, and at the same time, beautiful. Gemini carries trauma that have been reprogrammed as emotional weapons. This means that many of the wounds that mark their stories have become human reading tools. The more pain a Gemini surpassed, the more sharp becomes his emotional radar. They recognize pain in others because they have been there. They know when someone is being fake because they have had to pretend to survive. They know when someone is on the verge of exploding because they have already exploded inside so many times in silence. And this reprogramming is what makes them dangerous to those who try to manipulate them, because deep down you will never know how much they know or how much you have seen you completely. From fourth to sixth secret, we plunged into the mind, this almost extraterrestrial territory of twins. The fourth secret is hidden intelligence. Gemini can even play, laugh, distract yourself, look superficial, but your mind is always processing something else. Always. There is a second trail of thought behind the light conversation, an active observation layer behind laughter, and that is why they are underestimated by those who judge for the cover. But for those who see beyond, it is clear, the Gemini mind is too sharp tool to be underestimated. The fifth secret is your ability to change quickly. One Gemini can transform his worldview overnight, and this is not inconsistency, it is spiritual flexibility. While other signs fight to release what no longer serves, twins simply turn the key, detaches, it changes, and start over. It confuses, scares, bothers you, but it is part of its mission to show that evolution requires fluidity and that attachment to form is a prison. The sixth secret is the chameleonic aura. They adapt to the environment with such mastery that you cannot even realize who they really are. Not because they are hiding something, but because they are multiple. They are the sum of many internal voices, many versions of themselves that were created throughout lives. Each place activates a part, each person arouses a frequency, and this ability makes them magnetic, mysterious, and for many, dangerously seductive. In the secrets from 7 to 10, we cross the portal of deep spirituality. The seventh secret is the connection with dreams. Gemini dreams of multiple layers, dreams that are not just metaphors but messages, signs, sometimes even premonitions. They wake up with sensations that they don't know how to name, with ideas that don't know where they came from, with words that seem to have been whispered by another presence. And often these visions come to fruition because your mind, during sleep, accesses subtle files that few are allowed to open. The eighth secret is the internal voices. We are not talking about mental confusion. We are talking about multiple perceptions, spiritual guides, intuitions that speak as their own thoughts. The Gemini listen, not with the ears, but with the soul. Listen to the non-not. Listen to messages in the wind, in silence, between the lines. And when they decide to trust these voices, they become messages of messages that do not come from this plan. The ninth secret is the mystery of past lives. Many Gemini carry traces, talents, or fears that do not belong to this life. They feel inexplicable affinities for times, places, symbols. They have knowledge that they have never studied. They know what they should not know. And even without rational explanations, they carry fragmented memories of previous existences, which influence their gifts, their challenges, and their missions in this life. The 10th secret is the ease with which hidden symbols connect. Twins decipher codes, understands metaphors, feels the sense hidden by T of the word, and so it is often attracted to all that is mystical, esoteric, spiritual, not for fashion, but by resonance. Because in your spirit there is a memory of when all this was natural, when temples were inside, when the rituals were lived, not explained. And now, we have reached the last 5 secrets, perhaps the most impactful. The 11th secret is a warning. It does not betray a Gemini. He can forgive but will never forget, because when twins are wounded by someone who trusted, a part of it closes forever, not for revenge but for self-protection. And this closing part keeps an energy code that the other never accesses again. The 12th secret is that they see before they speak. Many times they already know what they will hear, what they will feel, what they will find out, before the other says. They only listen to confirm. They just ask to observe the reaction, because the answer in fact has arrived before, in a gesture, in a look, in a micro detail. The 13th secret is that they know what you fear, and not because you told you, but because vibrationally, fear leaves tracks. And twins read these tracks with the naturalness of those who read a book. The 10th secret is that they use time as a tool. You know when you act. They know when it disappears. They know when to shut up. And this domain of time disconcerts those who live in the impulse. Because while many react, they observe, and they act when everyone already thought they had given up. And the 10th, 5th secret, you will feel. It cannot be revealed directly, because it happens. He is the moment when, without explanation, you realize that twins was right. It has always been. Even when you didn't understand, even when you resisted, even when you thought it was just a game. It wasn't. It was code. It was a mirror. It was their soul touching yours. If any of these secrets made sense to you now, I see beyond the surface. And if you identified with more than one, especially if you are from twins, right? I carry the 15 codes. And remember to enjoy and subscribe. Gemini was not created to be understood. It was created to provoke the awakening. It is not about logic, on predictability, or about fitting in mental standards. Gemini energy exists to break structures, challenge certainties, test boundaries, and especially open internal paths that were dormant. While the world seeks ready-made answers and safe routines, twins acts as a force that looked solid, and with that, activates what was numb. And it's not just behavior. We are talking about a deep spiritual mission, coded in the essence of this sign and perceived only by those who allow themselves to go beyond form. They unite the visible and the invisible. These are bright bridges between what you think and what is coming. Therefore, living with a Gemini is always an experience of transformation. Even if you don't immediately notice, something in you starts to move. Old ideas begin to look insufficient. Feelings that were asleep come to light. Thoughts begin to connect in new ways. All this because twins, even in silence, even distracted, even in its apparent lightness, is operating spiritually in the background, generating movement, stimulating the awakening. They do not force. They do not impose. They tease. And this provocation is not aggressive. It is subtle. But it is intense enough to leave marks. And this is exactly the function that Edgar Cayce revealed in mentioning the Gemini as souls who came to trigger codes in the collective mental field. They are here to shake mental structures, to break the closed thought, to question everything that is considered as absolute. And that is why they are often accused of undecided, incoherent, even superficial, because in fact, they do not settle in a single layer of reality. Gemini feels what is to come before it materializes. They do not follow the common order of events. They operate at the frequency of pre-consciousness, where ideas are still forming, where emotions have no name, where possibilities have not yet taken shape. Therefore, its spiritual mission is directly linked to the verb, the word, the vibration that precedes the manifestation. The Gemini does not speak for speaking. Even when it seems that he is just playing with words, he is vibrating, frequencies that resonate with those who hear. Sometimes a phrase spoken by a Gemini triggers a chain of thoughts and sensations that you will only understand days later, because he touched something inside you that was not ready to emerge. And this is precisely the beauty of the Gemini mission, provoking the unconscious to wake up. And this provocation does not just come by speech, comes by the presence, for the fluidity with which they transit between different groups, different ideas, different planes of existence. Gemini is a master of observing the whole, And this is not just a mental skill, it is a spiritual function. They are designed to see where others do not see, feel where others are numb, move where everything seems stagnant. And that's why they are so difficult to follow. Because while many are still trying to understand the past, Gemini is already processing the trends of the future. They do not only live in linear time, they inhabit the heels, the intervals, the gaps where the new begins to form. This feature makes twins especially sensitive to the collective. They feel what is in the air. They intuit change before they become visible, and so they are often misinterpreted. People tend to resist those who change fast, who thinks differently, who acts outside the norm. But it is exactly this discomfort that activates the awakening. The spiritual mission of twins is to serve as a spark, that spark that begins the process of inner combustion in anyone approaching. Sometimes this process is kind, other times it is radical, but it's never useless. There is always a transformation, even silent, even if it takes time to be perceived. And there is an important detail here. This spiritual role requires a cost. Many Gemini feel they live in transit, as if they were always in an interlugar between pain and joy, between doubt and certainty, between the real world and the ideal world. This is because your soul has been configured to remain mobile. They cannot stop for long in one place, cannot be set in one idea. They cannot stay long where there is rigidity. It is as if your energy needed constant movement to continue vibrating your mission. When they get too still, they get sick. When they repress themselves to please, they go out. When they try to fit in, they get lost. And this sense of displacement is also part of the spiritual call, because twins did not come to belong, came to connect. It's different. He is not the piece that completes the puzzle. He is the link between two pieces that would never fit alone. It is the invisible wire that's sewing extreme, and so his presence often seems out of place. But in fact, he is exactly where he should be, at the break, in the curve, halfway, between what it was and what will still be. And this between is the space where everything happens. Cayce called an injunction, where the invisible touches the visible, where the soul begins to manifest even before it is perceived. And it is in this space that Gemini lives. Perhaps that is why, even surrounded by people, the deep Gemini sometimes feels alone, because he sees before, he feels more, he anticipates the movement, and that separates him. He sets him apart, makes him lonely, but it also strengthens it, because it is in this cosmic loneliness that he refines his vision, that he cultivates his listening, that he develops his mission. The great truth is that the world is not yet ready to fully understand the energy of twins, but it needs it, urgently, because we live a break era, where old systems no longer work, where the ancient ways no longer lead anywhere, where everything is ruining for the newborn. And who came to activate this new is exactly who has the courage to move between worlds, who does not hold to the old man, who does not identify with any form, who flows. And if there is a sign that embodies it perfectly, it is twins. So if you live with a Gemini and feel that he is always stirring with, "Your mind, thank you." If you are from twins and live in feeling that you are out of place, he welcomes. Because this is not dysfunction. It is code. It is a sign. It is part of the mission. Your soul was designed not to be fixed, not to surrender, not to silence. Its presence is not to comfort. It is to provoke. Its function is not to calm. It is to activate. And this, while it seems light, requires immense spiritual strength. If you felt that this stretch spoke straight with your essence, now comments, "I'm a bridge between worlds." If you're from Gemini and feel that it has been carrying this call for a long time, write, "My soul provokes the awakening." These words are codes. They are recognition. They are activators. Envying a Gemini is like trying to cope the wind. It is like wanting to stop time with naked hands or erase the flame of a candle blowing against his own destination. Gemini is not just a sign in motion. He is the movement itself. It changes. He escapes. He disappears when you think you have captured you, and you return when you have already forgotten the impact it has had. But the most dangerous is not when he disappears. That's when he comes back. Because when you come back, it brings with it layers you didn't know. Forces you tried to control and ended up awakening without having the slightest notion of what it meant. And this is the essence of the mystical alert that Edgar Cayce left as a spiritual warning. To mess with the soul of an awake Geminian is to open portals that you may have no emotional or energetic structure to support. Few understand what really happens when envy, this dense, silent, and treacherous energy, is directed to someone from twins, because, unlike other signs that absorb or react, twins reflects. But this reflection is not passive, he is activating. When you send an envy vibration to a Gemini, this energy not only returns, it transforms itself, because twins, by spiritual nature, is a transmuting. He takes what comes from the invisible world, processes, decodes, and returns, not hatred but intensely. And this intensity has the power to turn around the emotions of those who have issued, to cause physical, mental, and even spiritual symptoms. You start dreaming of the person. It begins to think of it unintentionally. He feels discomfort, guilt, weight, not understanding where he comes from. And that's where the secret lives. The spiritual fury of twins doesn't scream, she reverberates. And when he awakens his spiritual fury, words saw spells. Yes, words, because it is by the word that twins manifest itself. And even if he doesn't say directly, even if he only murmur, even if he writes in silence, each verb carries the seal of the energy behind it. And if this energy is of pain, of injustice, of deep hurt caused by envy, then what he projects towards the injured returns with double force. Gemini does not do this consciously. It is not about revenge. It is about return. The word spoken by Gemini has the power to alter vibrational fields, change the course of events, accelerate learning, or break structures that were sustaining themselves on the basis of lies. And all this can happen with a single sentence, or even a simple silence. It is important to understand that this energy process is not only linked to the Gemini's personality, it is linked to your spiritual programming. As we said before, twins is a living bridge between plans. And so, when he speaks, it is how something that is not just his, is from the collective, is from the field, is the invisible. So when someone tries to hurt him, envy, that person is not just trying to harm the individual, it is trying to cross a field that is in direct connection with higher plans. And these plans do not accept invasions. Envy is essentially an attempt to steal energy, to wish the brightness of the other, without being willing to walk the path that generated this shine. In the case of twins, this is even more dangerous, because its brightness is not just what it does, it comes from what he is, of its mutant, creative, instinctive, unpredictable essence. You can try to imitate a Gemini, but it will never be him, because its strength is not in appearance, it is in the internal movement. And that is precisely what bothers you. Freedom, the lightness with which twins seems to reinvent itself while others are still arrested in old cycles. When someone tries to control this freedom or envy it, the universe responds, and responds with intensity, because the Gemini soul is protected by forces that operate in another layer, forces of wisdom, speed, mental clarity, and these forces do not forgive the attempt of spiritual imprisonment. Often, those who try to reduce a Gemini with malicious words, criticism, or judgments end up stumbling in their own traps, because the returned energy need not be violent to be devastating. She just needs to be true. And the truth, when it comes raw, hurts more than any attack. There is also a little spoken spiritual phenomenon, but it manifests itself intensely in Gemini aware of its mission, the spontaneous activation of mirrors. This means that when they are in high alignment, they act as catalysts for internal revelations in the people around them. This includes those who envy them. The stronger the envy is, the more this mirror is activated. And when this happens, the envious person is forced to face his own shadow with brutality. It begins to feel disconnected, frustrated, confused, not knowing that the root of all this was the vibration she herself generated against the Gemini. This return can manifest in disturbing dreams, emotional blocks, in relationships that destabilize themselves for no apparent reason. All of this are reflections of an attempt to invade the field of someone who was marked to move between worlds. And this is not cheap mysticism, this is real energy. And the higher the Gemini is spiritually, faster, and the more intense this vibrational response is. You may know someone like that, someone of twins who, even without effort, destabilizes everything around. That causes strong reactions that you can't ignore. which sometimes attracts you and sometimes irritates you deeply, all at the same time. This is the effect of the Gemini mirror, and if you have already felt it, maybe it's time to ask yourself, what is being activated within me? What am I trying to hide that this person is showing me unintentionally? Envy, in this case, it is just a passing emotion. It is a spiritual alert, a sign that you are facing someone who carries larger codes than you can control. And if you are from twins and are listening to it all, you may be recognizing yourself. Perhaps he is remembering situations where he was wronged, attacked, or diminished, and then realized that their lives began to collapse. Don't be alarmed. Do not blame yourself. You did nothing. You just existed. And sometimes existing at high frequency is sufficient to activate collapses in those living in dissonance. Now tell me, have you ever felt the silent fury of a Gemini? Have you tried to face it energetically and came out more confused than entered? Has it been impacted by a phrase that seemed innocent but changed your way of seeing reality? If so, comment below. I felt the Gemini mirror. And if you are from twins and know that it carries this intense vibration, even without fully understanding, write in the comments. My word is spell. Like this video if this message has moved you, and subscribe to the channel, because in the end, the chosen ones always feel when a message is not by chance. It is not the algorithm. It is not the time. It is not the coincidence. It is the call. And if you are still here, listening to the last second of this journey, it is because your soul is reacting to something that goes far beyond the content. It goes beyond the words, goes beyond astrological curiosity. What you are feeling now is vibration. It is spiritual memory being activated. It is the invisible field that Gemini accesses naturally starting to touch you. And when that happens, you can't pretend nothing has changed. Something inside you is more awake. Something inside you started to see from an angle that could not see before. This is frequency recognition. And when this frequency is accessed, it does not go back. It only expands. Have you noticed how, throughout this journey, your mind and spirit have been led by images, codes, symbolic layers that may have no rational explanation, but make sense in your intimate? This is because you are not just listening. You are remembering. What we say here is not new. It's old. It is ancestral. It is in your spiritual cells. And if you are from twins, this process is even stronger, because with each word you recognize yourself. You understand that what they called confusion was just multiplicity, that its apparent instability was in fact sacred versatility, that his restlessness was not a defect but compass, and that his mission was never to be understood, but to provoke the awakening of those who still sleep with their eyes open. Now take a deep breath for a moment. Feel the energy you carry. Feels the energy that this content activated. Can you realize that there is a superior intelligence guiding this process? What is not just a video on YouTube, but a spiritual journey? You are participating in an invisible ritual. It is contacting subtle realities that most people ignore. But the chosen ones always recognize when a message is for them. They feel in the body, they feel in the heart, they feel in the soul. And that's why you need to continue. Because now that you have accessed this field, the next revelations will not just be information, will be keys. They will be reminders of what you came to do here, and the next soul that will be revealed. It holds a weight as deep as it is sacred. It's about Cancer, the sign that carries the trauma of the collective, the silent guardian of lost souls. And you will understand why this sign is often misunderstood but spiritually powerful. So if you want to continue on this journey, if you want to dive deeper, more intensely, more courageously and true, you already know what to do. Now it is your turn to mark your spiritual presence. If this resonated with your soul, write in the comments. I respect the hidden codes. This is more than a sentence. It is an energy seal. It is a vibrational signature. It is your way of telling the universe, I am ready to see what the ordinary eyes do not see. And if you are from twins, or felt that this video has translated something that you could never explain with words, also write, I carry the mission of the mirror, because you know, because you feel, because you remember. Like this video now if something inside you has been touched, not by the ego but for the soul. And subscribe here to the channel, because the sequence that comes will show you that the awakening is not about understanding everything. It's about being available to feel. If you stayed here, it's because your soul felt, and that already says a lot about you. Now is your turn to make your spiritual brand in this space. Subscribe to the channel right now, because those who come to the end are already part of the group of those who are awakening. If this message has actually touched you, comment below. I went to the end, Reese that talked. To my soul. This simple comment shows the universe that you are ready for more revelations. And of course, leave your like now, because every like helps this message reach more people who also need to remember who they really are. And to close with a golden key, look there on the left side of your screen. The next video is already waiting for you. It is he who will continue to activate what he began to vibrate within you now. Click there and dive even deeper with us. We see each other there.